In the beginning, there was silence. Not the peaceful kind we seek today, but a vast, overwhelming quiet that pressed against the minds of our earliest ancestors like a weight they couldn't name. Picture those first humans huddled around flickering flames as darkness swallowed the world beyond their small circle of light. They had no words for what they felt, no explanations for the questions that gnawed at their consciousness. Yet in that primal silence, something stirred, something that would define our species forever. Who are we? The question echoed in minds that barely understood language itself. Why are we here? What happens when we die? These weren't philosophical musings born from leisure. They were desperate inquiries carved from raw experience, from watching loved ones breathe their last breath, from staring into star-filled skies that seemed to pulse with hidden meaning. This was the birth of faith, long before temples rose or scriptures were written. Fire was sacred to these early humans, and for good reason. It meant survival. It meant warmth when the cold threatened to claim them. It meant light when predators prowled in darkness. But fire also taught them something profound about existence itself. They watched flames dance and flicker, alive one moment, gone the next. They saw how fire could leave a piece of wood, transforming it from something vibrant into cold ash. And when death visited their small communities, when a person's body grew still and cold, they asked the same question that haunts us today. Where did the life go? This wasn't abstract thinking. This was survival instinct meeting mystery. They could see the body, touch it, but whatever had made it move, laugh, love, that invisible force had vanished. From this observation came humanity's first concept of the soul. Not from religious teaching, but from the simple, devastating recognition that something essential had departed, something they couldn't see or hold, but knew existed because they felt its absence so completely. The sky became their first cathedral. Day after day, they watched this vast blue dome stretch endlessly above them. They saw it change moods, from gentle blue to angry gray. They witnessed its power when thunder shook the earth and lightning split the darkness. Rain fell from its depths, bringing life or destruction. The sun emerged from its embrace each morning, disappeared into its folds each night. To minds seeking patterns, seeking meaning, the sky wasn't just weather. It was alive. It was watching. It was responding to their actions, their needs, their fears. When storms raged, they called out to it. Not in formal prayer, not with learned words, but with instinctual cries born from terror and hope. They had no priests to teach them, no books to guide them. Yet something deep within their being knew to reach upward, to acknowledge this powerful presence that controlled their fate. This wasn't religion yet, this was raw human recognition of something greater than themselves. Death, however, proved to be faith's greatest teacher. When someone they loved died, when a child was taken by disease or a partner by accident, early humans faced a choice. They could accept the finality, the crushing weight of permanent loss. Or they could believe something else, something that defied what their eyes told them. Life must continue somewhere. This belief didn't come from hope alone. It came from love, so powerful that it refused to accept endings. Hope, it turned out, was stronger than fear, stronger than evidence, stronger than the cold reality of lifeless bodies. This hope whispered that death wasn't the end, that somewhere beyond their understanding, life continued in a form they couldn't see but somehow knew existed. This wasn't wishful thinking. This was the human spirit asserting its deepest truth, that love transcends physical boundaries. From this hope came humanity's first prayer. Not a recited verse, not a memorized ritual, but a cry torn from a grieving heart. Imagine a parent who had lost a child, sitting alone under stars that offered no comfort. In that moment of absolute despair, words emerged that had never been spoken before. "I don't know who you are, but please hear me." This wasn't theology. This was pure human need reaching toward whatever might be listening in the vast unknown. That first prayer contained everything that would later fill countless scriptures: humility, recognition of something greater, a plea for connection, a desperate hope that someone, somewhere, cared about human suffering. It came not from teaching, but from the deepest wells of human emotion. It was faith in its purest form, unfiltered by doctrine or tradition. Even before laws existed, early humans possessed something remarkable: an innate moral compass. Hurting others felt wrong. Helping others felt right. This wasn't learned behavior. Children too young for instruction showed compassion. Adults who had never heard of commandments felt guilt when they caused harm, joy when they brought relief. Where did this come from? They sensed it originated from the same source as their other deep knowings, from whatever force had placed questions about existence in their minds. This moral instinct pointed towards something beyond themselves, something that cared about how they treated each other. It suggested that the power they sensed in the sky, the force they believed continued life after death, also had opinions about justice, kindness, and love. They were discovering not just that something greater existed, but that it was good. Across every early human community, regardless of location or culture, this same pattern emerged. The same questions, the same sense of something beyond, the same hope that death wasn't final, the same moral instincts, the same reaching toward the sky in times of need. This wasn't coincidence. This was human nature expressing its deepest truth. We are beings designed for connection with something greater than ourselves. Religion would come later, much later. Organized systems would emerge to explain these experiences, to provide structure for these instincts, to offer guidance for these questions. Temples would be built, scriptures written, rituals established, but religion didn't create faith. Religion was humanity's attempt to understand and organize faith that already existed. Faith existed before religion. Religion came later to explain faith. Faith didn't begin with books. Books began because faith already existed. The questions that drove our ancestors to look skyward, to believe in souls, to hope beyond death, to pray in darkness, these same questions drive us today. We're still seeking meaning, still hoping for connection, still believing that love transcends physical boundaries. The search continues because it's written into our very nature. We are beings who question, who hope, who reach beyond what we can see and touch. Perhaps the most beautiful truth is this: humans searched for God because God was already searching for them. The questions that arose in ancient minds, the hope that defied death, the moral compass that pointed toward goodness, the prayers that emerged from broken hearts, all of these were responses to a call that preceded human understanding. Faith isn't something we invented, it's something we discovered, and the discovery continues.